Security guard catches Jingu in the Hyosung tour team room. Jingu and Hana immediately beg the security guard to let them go, pleading with him to overlook this one instance. Jingu makes a solemn promise that he will never again sneak into the Hyosung tour office. After Hana returns home, she encounters Seong. This time, Seong doesn't express anger about Hana's soju drinking session with Jingu. Instead, Seong's primary concern is whether Hana and Jingu successfully compile all the scattered pieces of paper into a single complete file. Hana suddenly recalls the afternoon incident where she overheard Seong on the phone, expressing worry that the pieces of paper had been assembled. This memory prompts Hana to question Seong about the phone call, wanting to know the identity of the person Seong spoke with. However, instead of answering Hana's direct question, Seong becomes irritated by Hana's eavesdropping. She vehemently denies ever discussing the file with anyone, accusing Hana of spreading false information and slandering her reputation. She emphatically asserts that she is not crazy and would never share confidential information like that with others. Seong's reaction and behavior leave Hana pondering Jingu's motivation for wanting to marry a woman with such a personality. Meanwhile, after arriving home, Jingu finds himself pleading with his own heart to calm down, begging it to stop racing so intensely because of Hana. That night, Bangwoo enters Jingu's room, her face edged with worry about Jingu's situation and the future of the company. Jingu reassures Bangwoo, confidently stating that everything will work out favorably because he has discovered crucial evidence that will sway the board to his side. Bangwoo feels a sense of relief upon hearing this and expresses her unwavering belief in Jingu's abilities. Meanwhile, at home, Myungji expresses her concern, bordering on annoyance, after learning about Jingu's suspension and his current assignment working in the corridor. Seong explains that Jingu is diligently searching for evidence that implicates Jisuk as the mastermind behind the 3-month postponement of the Dubai contract. Myungji instructs Yeojin to prevent Jingu from being further humiliated and to find a solution to the Hyosung tour problem. Yeojin reflects on her previous conversation with Jisuk, recalling Jisuk's condition for remaining silent, Yeojin's agreement to sell Hyosung tour. Yeojin contemplates canceling the agreement with Jisuk to protect Jingu, but she hesitates, fearing the potential consequences of Jisuk revealing information about her paper company. That night, Myungji and Seong once again witness the depth of Yeojin's care for Eunchang, a display that prompts Seong to remark to Myungji on the seeming disparity between Yeojin's concern for Eunchang and her apparent lack of concern for Hana. Myungji expresses certainty that there is an underlying reason for Yeojin's behavior. Separately, Yeojin learns from Secretary Chang that Richard Han has been actively investigating her, uncovering more information than previously known, including details about her other paper company, beyond the one Jisuk is aware of. Secretary Chang also points out a suspicious aspect of Richard Han's behavior, his refusal to take a phone call from Eugene. The following day, Jingu meets Jisuk. Presenting the documents he has gathered, he directly accuses Jisuk of being the mastermind behind the entire scene. Jisuk responds with an arrogant smile, acknowledging Jingu's efforts but declaring the game to be over, stating he must attend an important meeting. Jingu, still lacking understanding, presses Jisuk for an explanation. Jisuk, however, offers no clarification. Instead, he proceeds directly to Yeojin's room, leaving Jingu with the impression that Yeojin has consented to sell Hyosung tour. Jingu attempts to enter Yeojin's room, but Secretary Chang and Danny prevent him from doing so. Inside the room, Yeojin and Jisuk finalize the agreement to sell Hyosung tour. Yeojin informs Jisuk that everything is unfolding precisely as Richard Han desires, but she warns Jisuk that the future will enable the challenges. After Jisuk leaves Yeojin's room, Jingu confronts Yeojin, expressing disbelief and questioning the suddenness of her decision. Yeojin offers an apology to Jingu, but maintains that her decision was made for the betterment of Hyosung group, hoping for his understanding. Jingu remains unconvinced and presses for a more true explanation, but Yeojin remains silent, offering no further clarification. Jae-suk contacts Richard Han to report the successful completion of the deal. They discuss the increased holding in Hyesung Group, now totaling 10% due to acquisition of an additional 2% stake. Meanwhile, Seong makes it clear to Jae-suk that she is outwardly aligning herself with him, but in reality, she intends to remain neutral, supporting both Jae-suk and Jin-gu, as she remains uncertain about the ultimate ownership of Hyesung Tour. Seong embraces Jae-suk, celebrating his success in securing Yeojin's agreement. Jae-suk reciprocates the embrace but reminds Seong to maintain a neutral expression while they are at the company. Seong complies, putting on a poker face, concealing her happiness about the sale of Hyesung Tour while outwardly displaying sympathy to Hyesung Tour staff. During this time, Jin offers a sincere apology to his staff, but assures them that he will work to secure their position and prevent any loyals. In this episode, Myung-jin meets with Detective Cho again, expressing her suspicion of Eun-jung and instructing him to thoroughly investigate Eun-jung's background. Later, Myung-ji confronts Yeojin after learning about the sale of Hyesung Tour, directly asking if Yeojin's actions were motivated by Jisuk's knowledge of the paper company. Yeojin cautions Myung-ji to exercise more discretion in her words, emphasizing that even Seong and Jin-gu remain unaware of the paper company's existence. Suddenly, Myung-ji poses a direct accusation. Is it possible that Richard Han was the one who sent the dead photo the other day? Is Richard Han also one who spread the rumor that your biological daughter has died? Myung-ji points out that Hana is now an adult and capable to protecting herself, but expresses deep concern for Eun-jung's vulnerability, fearing that Richard Han might harm Eun-jung or even kidnap the child. Upon hearing this, Yeojin visibly trembles, a reaction that doesn't escape Myung-ji's notice. This trembling, specifically in response to the mention of kidnapping, leads Myung-ji to suspect that Yeojin's primary concern is not Hana's safety, but rather Eun-jung's vulnerability to kidnapping. Upon arriving home, Myung-ji encounters Bang-woo and advises her to shift her focus from worrying about Eun-jung to worrying about Jin-gu's unemployment following the sale of Hyesung Tour. In the final scene of this episode, Myung-ji enters Yeojin's room. She notices stickers at the table, reinforcing her suspicion about a connection between Yeojin and Eun-jung. Myung-ji proceeds to search Yeojin's drawers, uncovering a hidden photograph. Myung-ji recalls an earlier incident where Hana lost a photograph, and Eun-jung had mentioned that the missing picture depicted Eun-jung, Hana, and his mother. This memory allows Myung-ji to conclude that the photograph she found is the one who lost from Hana's room. Upon examining the photo, Myung-ji recognizes the woman in the picture is Yeojin, Yeojin's biological daughter.